Let's look at the steps for building a balanced, chilled Chinese chicken cucumber salad. The goal is a dish that is fresh and highly flavorful, but simple enough to execute on a busy weeknight. As you can see in this slow-motion close-up, the final dish relies on three elements coming together: tender shredded chicken, crisp green cucumber matchsticks, and a highly aromatic hot oil dressing coating every piece. Before we begin prep, gather two specific pieces of equipment. You will need a highly accurate meat thermometer and a heat-proof bowl. For the primary ingredients, you will need 2 whole, bone-in, skin-on chicken legs and 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon of Chinese black vinegar. These specific tools allow us to precisely monitor the chicken's internal temperature and handle boiling oil safely, which are the technical requirements for achieving juicy chicken and crisp, non-watery cucumbers. Step 1 is setting up the poaching environment. In a medium saucepan, build your aromatic base by combining ginger slices, thick-cut yellow onion, whole black peppercorns, and a bay leaf, and then submerge your chicken legs in water. This diagram shows our first temperature milestone. Simmer until the thickest part of the thigh reaches 150 degrees Fahrenheit, avoiding the bone. Then turn off the stove. Let the chicken steep in the hot water for 10 minutes, until that internal temperature reaches 165 degrees. When the meat hits that 165-degree mark, remove the chicken from the water immediately. Transfer it to a plate and let it sit until it is cool enough to handle. Strain the remaining poaching liquid and reserve it for cooking rice or making soup later. Using this 2-stage temperature control method, simmering first, then steeping off the heat, prevents the muscle proteins from seizing. This protects the chicken from becoming dry or tough. While the chicken cools, we transition to the cucumber. Place a whole English cucumber horizontally on your cutting board and slice it diagonally into 2.5-inch long ovals. Gather those ovals into a long, slightly overlapping line and then cut them lengthwise. This will leave you with uniform 1/8-inch thick matchsticks. Now for the moisture extraction step. Transfer the matchsticks to a bowl. Toss them with half a teaspoon of kosher salt and let them stand for 10 minutes. Do not skip this resting period. This split-screen comparison shows the result. On the right, the salt has drawn a massive amount of natural water directly out of the vegetable. This extracted liquid now sits pooled at the bottom of the bowl. If you skip this resting phase, the cucumber releases that liquid after the salad is assembled. This excess water will dilute the dressing and reduce the crunch of the vegetables. Now we assemble the dressing. You must use a heat-proof glass or metal bowl to prevent the container from shattering. In that heat-proof bowl, combine your dry aromatics: 3 cloves of minced garlic, 2 sliced scallion whites, 1 tablespoon of toasted sesame seeds, and optional sliced chilies. In a small saucepan, heat 3 tablespoons of neutral oil over medium-high heat. In about 2 minutes, you will see the exact visual cues. The oil will shimmer and just begin to smoke. Immediately pour that smoking hot oil directly over your garlic and sesame seed mixture. Once the sizzling stops, whisk in your toasted sesame oil, soy sauce, Chinese black vinegar, and 1 tablespoon of granulated sugar. Keep stirring until the sugar is fully dissolved. The thermal shock of the hot oil cooks the raw garlic and releases the fat-soluble compounds in the aromatics, creating a layered, savory flavor profile. Returning to our cooled chicken, strip the meat by removing and discarding all the skin, bones, excess fat, and tendons. Look closely at the texture of the meat in this macro shot. You need to pull the meat apart by hand into thin, uneven strips, rather than chopping it with a knife. Next, take your rested cucumbers and transfer the matchsticks into a clean kitchen towel. Watch this heavy stream of water pour out as we firmly wring the towel over a sink. Force out as much liquid as physically possible. For the final assembly, place your squeezed cucumbers, your hand-shredded chicken, fresh scallion greens, and cilantro into a large mixing bowl. Pour exactly half of your prepared dressing over the ingredients. Toss them thoroughly, taste a bite, and add more dressing as needed. The jagged edges of the hand-shredded chicken act as a physical sponge to hold the dressing, while the squeezed cucumbers provide an undiluted crunch. The final Chinese chicken cucumber salad has a glossy hot oil dressing that clings to every ingredient, with no watery pooling at the bottom of the bowl. If you are meal prepping, you can make this ahead of time. Just be sure to refrigerate the chicken, cucumber, and dressing in separate airtight containers, and only assemble them on the day you plan to eat. And if you have any leftover dressing, it is a versatile sauce that pairs well with cold noodles. By applying precise temperature control to the protein and thorough moisture extraction to the vegetables, you ensure these ingredients reach their full potential in a single, balanced dish.